Hey everyone! So the following video that you're about to watch is one that I had uploaded a while ago, and I didn't really know whether or not to share it or not. I have decided that I'm just going to share it, and hopefully it doesn't cause any offence. The reason why I kind of held it back was because it is very personal. It's part of my story. It's a huge part of who I am, but I also didn't want to put people off because they had different views from me. So I am very respectful of all types of faiths, and I just wanted to share what mine was. I'm a Christian. My faith is massively important to me, and basically I live and breathe in my faith. So I've been lately asking what God is teaching me through my autism, because he teaches us through everything in life, and because my autism is a fairly new diagnosis in my life, I just kind of thought, let's ask God's opinion. And it's been really interesting what he's been teaching me, so I'm excited to share that with you. Okay, so the first thing that God has really been teaching me and opening up my heart about is just how to focus on the voice that matters, and that's obviously his. We can all be very guilty of tuning into what other people think, other people's opinions and thoughts of us, and we can sometimes make them out to be way bigger than they are, or have like a negative thought of how people perceive us. I think that can be said for neurodivergents and neurotypicals, but especially for autistic people, because we do find it hard to read between the lines. So yeah, God's kind of teaching me that his voice is the only one that actually matters. But when I tune in to listen to his still, small, quiet voice, it can be very difficult, because when you still your mind and still your heart, there's lots of distractions. And as an autistic person, my senses are heightened, especially the sense of sound rather. So when I'm quieting my mind, silence is not something that comes very easily to me. I am very much aware of all of the noises around me, and it takes me a lot of focus to kind of push that all aside, and not allow my sensory overload to overwhelm me when I'm trying to spend time with God. Another thing that God is teaching me is all about his grace. And yeah, I don't get social norms. I find social interaction very difficult to hard to understand, which means I'm quick to ask for forgiveness because I make a lot of mistakes. I kind of get the wrong end of the stick. I misunderstand. I can accidentally, unintentionally offend people by what I say or what I do. But also I can be super intense, and I come across quite strong, and I don't mean to. It's just me trying to navigate social situations. But it means I come before God for his grace, and I need his grace in my life, because I'm asking for forgiveness all the time, and he's kind of just like, I love you. That's all I need to know. But yeah, so resting in God's grace is hugely important for me as I navigate in my autistic life. Another thing God is teaching me is how to kind of hold on to his unchanging love. I can't even describe the vastness of how God loves us. Many people have tried, but it just doesn't come close. So we live in a world that is constantly shifting. There's unexpected change all the time in this world, and that's really hard to navigate through. It makes me feel quite chaotic when my world is changing all the time, especially unexpected change. That just makes me feel very unsafe. So having something in my life that's constant, like God's love, makes me feel really secure. It keeps me calm. So when the world is feeling quite chaotic, I can rely on his unfailing love, which is pretty cool. Another thing that Jesus is teaching me is just a really simple fact that Jesus calls me his friend. So I find friendships really hard to navigate. I find friendships really hard to understand. Like I said before, I can be quite a super intense person, or I can come across as just not very interested, and I don't intend to be either. Basically, I want to be people's friends. I want to be kind. I want to be nice. I want to seem interested. But I don't always hit the mark when it comes to how I come across socially. And it's just because I don't understand social cues, and unspoken communication is really difficult for me to grasp. And it's all the time, it's always in social settings. I don't really know what my role is, and I need a role to play. But yeah, Jesus calls me his friend. He offers no judgment. He just completely accepts me, regardless of my quirkiness and unconventional ways and neurodivergent thinking. He just calls me his friend, and I'm enough. I'm okay. I'm everything to him, and it's easy. It's like being by myself. I love my own company more than being with others, because there's no rules to follow. I don't have to consider how I'm coming across, or if I've unintentionally hurt someone, or overthink every interaction I've ever had. I just am me, and that's what Jesus wants for me when he calls me his friend too. So I like that. Okay, so there's a verse in Psalm 139 that is quite well known. You may know it yourself, but I'm just going to read it. So it's verse 17 and 18, and I just think it really sums up what God thinks about me and you. Your thoughts are rare, how beautiful, God. I'll never comprehend them. I couldn't even begin to count them, any more than I could count the sand on the sea. Oh, let me rise in the morning and always be with you. And I just love that. God thinks about us all the time. Like, he has so many good thoughts about us. So I love being autistic, and I love being a Christian. I've been aware of my faith my whole life, whereas being aware of being autistic is relatively new. So I'm just navigating the journey of both of them. And I'm asking God to constantly teach me what he's showing me through my autism. And I just love that he cares. I ask that question and he gives me some answers, and it's really exciting to learn. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much for listening and being with me today. Have a good day.